This is BBC Money Daily, your bite-sized snapshot of what's going on in business and beyond. Ahead, vacation blues, thousands stranded worldwide over Thomas Cook collapse. We bring it home and gauge how this may affect you. Also, quitting while ahead. Investigation reveals how Uganda betting sector may be taking punters for a ride. Plus, swept out to sea, how erosion is threatening lives, abodes and livelihoods on the Ghanaian coast. We're coming to you from Nairobi. Let's do this. I'm Maya Hayakawa. Money Daily starts right now. It's a major blow to the global tourism industry after the world's oldest travel company, Thomas Cook, went bankrupt, leaving more than 600,000 people who were still on holiday stranded and 1 million people with advanced bookings of their holiday packages left in confusion as to what comes next. Thomas Cook collapsed after last-minute negotiations aimed at rescuing the 178-year-old holiday firm from its $2.1 billion debt pile failed. The popular travel firm offered low-cost package holidays to more than 60 destinations worldwide and served more than 19 million customers last year. How is Africa affected? Well, first and foremost, it means thousands of potential tourists lost as the travel company offered tours to these destinations within the continent. Some of the popular African destinations who have potentially lost business include Mauritius, Egypt, Kenya, South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Tanzania. Also, there will be job losses all along the supply chain. Around 21,000 employees worldwide will lose their jobs. South Africa is home to several Thomas Cook call centers and operational services. Now, we wanted to find out what impact this is likely to have on the continent. And so I've been speaking with Mohamed Hersi, chairman of Kenya Tourism Federation.
For them to fold one Monday morning, it's not good news for us at all. Thomas Cook may not be that large when it comes to Kenya travel, but even the small numbers that they're bringing here, we will be affected, specifically when it comes to the Kenya coast, because they were selling a lot of beach holidays to Kenya.
How about the rest of Africa?
The rest of Africa is big because also South Africa, they are very popular in the north. That is Egypt, places like Tunisia, Morocco, and also they're big when it goes to West Africa, specifically when you talk about Gambia. But on the other side also, we have been told that it's only Thomas Cook UK, not rather global. They're saying that the other Thomas Cooks will still operate. I don't know how sure that, how true that is. But for certain, we do know that travel from the UK will now be affected if you had booked yourself through Thomas Cook. Now, the challenges we are dealing with at the moment is that we already have clients who are booked in various hotels in Kenya under Thomas Cook. So now, as hoteliers, you're very well sure that you're not going to get paid because Thomas Cook has gone under receivership. So where does that leave us? At the same time, we don't want to upset the client who are already staying with us. But at the same time, we don't want as hoteliers and stakeholders to be left holding bills that will never be paid.
So what next moving forward? How then will these issues that you've highlighted be addressed?
First thing first is to make sure whoever is staying, they need to come into agreement with the hotels, and many of the hotels are now approaching their clients directly to make them pay for the remainder of the stay. That is from today, because Thomas Cook from today are not going to honor any of their bills. Not that they will honor the ones for yesterday or the day before yesterday, or even the payments that are still sitting on the data. That is 2 months, 3 months in arrears. So hotels will be left holding, unfortunately, some unpaid bills. That's what happens when a company goes under administration.
So, of course, the travel industry right now, there's so many options. You can book online, go through various travel companies. As a traveler, how do you ensure that, minimal impact is felt in situations like this, that there's minimal impact on your holiday?
You see, they will have to do you have to buy insurance for your travel. That is very crucial. I mean, in modern day, you cannot go on holiday without buying yourself an insurance. That's very, very crucial and critical.
How do travel or tour companies stay ahead of the game?
Usually the days of packaging a tour where you take people on a very tight schedule and you tailor, days and hours and everything is set within a parameter is gone. People want the freedom to choose when they want to stay at a place, how long they want to stay. They can extend, they can cut short their stay without any penalties. So the business model indeed has changed, but I don't think it's only that has brought down Thomas Cook. Probably there are more underlying issues.
Okay, then let's now catch up on what else business is buzzing about. Tanzania says cashew nut production for the year to September 2020 is projected to increase by 33.5% due to favorable weather conditions, availability of farming inputs, and increased plantings. Output between October 2019 and September 2020 is to reach 300,000 tons, up from the 225,000 tons produced in the previous season. Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation aims for full restoration work on all three of state-owned refineries to begin in January. Port Harcourt, Warri, and Kaduna refineries have operated under full capacity due to neglect, mismanagement, and a lack of crude, leaving the oil-producing nation almost entirely reliant on imported fuel. At least 7 children have died after a classroom collapsed at a primary school in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi. The wooden structure at Precious Talent Top School collapsed just minutes after the start of the school day. Government says most of the 64 pupils rushed to Kenya's main hospital are being treated for minor injuries and will soon be discharged. You're watching Money Daily from the BBC. Straight ahead. Fueling an addiction that may be leaving many punters seeing red. Now, over the past 10 years, sports betting has exploded across Africa. But are the betting companies playing a fair game? And do the young punters really understand the odds they're up against? BBC Africa Eye has been investigating the gambling industry in Uganda and has discovered that sports fans win back less than half of the money they bet. BBC's Catherine Biarunga has more.
Betting shops are everywhere in Uganda, appealing to young men, feeding on their love of football, and selling them the hope of a better life.
Money is never enough to cater for all your needs. So how do you do it? How do you increase the money? Maybe you try betting.
But do young Ugandans really understand the odds they're up against? Collins Mahinda is a typical gambler. He has been betting on football since he was at school.
Winning ticket! I staked 2,000. Chelsea came back and won the game, which means I just won 7,500.
The gaming regulator says punters like Collins win back over 70% of the money they bet. But we analysed 2018 tax figures and found something quite different.
First of all, the government gets 18% of that money in taxes. The betting companies kept 43% for their business expenses and profits. So what does that leave for you guys, the punters? 39%. All of this at one point was your money. So now this is what it looks like between the government and the companies, and this is yourselves.
It's a huge loss.
With odds like these, no wonder people are hurting and getting angry.
I don't want this.
The gambling companies say they encourage responsible betting. Despite calls for tighter regulation, the government is considering a more controversial solution.
Even the government itself can have a company that can invest in this, and then we have data regulations and look at this sector.
But is international football also at fault? Former Arsenal and England captain Tony Adams is against betting firms sponsoring major clubs because it glamorizes gambling.
The governing body of the FA needs to say, look, within 5 years, no gambling, advertising in football. There's no place for it.
And like soccer, sports betting is a game you can never really win. The pressure is growing for more to be done to protect the young and most vulnerable from getting hooked. Catherine Biarahanga, BBC News.
Rising sea levels attributed to global warming are threatening entire communities along West Africa's shoreline. An estimated 5 million people live along the Ghana's Atlantic coast. The coastal region is a significant contributor to the country's economy. Many homes in eastern Volta region of Ghana have been destroyed by tidal waves in recent years. The BBC's Thomas Nadi reports.
Sea erosion. 3 years ago, it was a very vibrant fishing village. Now look at it. Everything is completely gone. Tidal waves have taken parts of the village with it into the sea. Many have lost their property and nearly all of their belongings. Celestina Akole and her family still live here.
We need help. We don't have a place to sleep, and when it comes to relocation, we're afraid because we will leave our jobs.
The advancing coastline has already swallowed up these homes, and residents here tell me they fear losing everything.
We are afraid. We will leave our job. What are we going to eat?
According to climate change experts, this is a major challenge confronting developing countries along the West African coast.
Now, if the projections are anything to go by, communities living around the coastal areas will lose their livelihoods, their cultural values, and there will be a need to relocate citizens from these coastal areas. It's a problem that is not only peculiar to Ghana. It's happened everywhere in the world.
Authorities in Ghana have installed levees as sea defense, but this has not been replicated along many parts of the coastline, mainly due to lack of financial resources. The disappearance of this village is a strong indication that if nothing can stop the waves, it won't be long its surrounding towns will be entirely wiped off the map.
And now we've scanned the whole incident, so you don't have to. Here's our summary in too long didn't read. And the Sudanese police fired tear gas at school students protesting over shortage of bread in the country's Darfur state. The students marched to the governor's office. A hike in bread price last year led to the revolution in Sudan that ended the reign of former President Omar Hassan al-Bashir. Well, that brings us to the end of our program, BBC Money Daily, with me, Maya Hayakawa. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.